To news here at home now. People hoping to see the Olympic cauldron lit once again in Calgary won't get their wish. Voters in the city rejected a plan to bid for the 2026 Games. The mayor, the provincial government, and the federal government all supported the idea. But today they say they'll respect the decision made by the people of Calgary.
In March, we were very pleased to come together with the City of Calgary and the Province of Alberta to support a Calgary 2026 Winter Games bid process. We were right there with our partners, and it was proud to be the deal we got. We came with the largest contribution, 50% of the funds. Proud of the agreement that we came to, but Calgarians, we want to ensure that Calgarians had an opportunity to have their voices heard, and we respect their decision.
The CBC's Aaron Collins is at the old Canada Olympic Park, where events were held when Calgary hosted the Winter Games back in 1988. And he joins me now. So Aaron, how did the city get to the point where this bid is now dead?
Well, you basically had two sides of this argument going on over the last couple of years, really, and at the heart of it, of course, was that torch right behind me and whether or not that should be relit in 2026. Now, we had a big turnout last night. 40% of the electorate, which is a lot for a plebiscite, turned out to vote, and really it wasn't even close. 56% of Calgarians say they just aren't interested in relighting that cauldron, in revisiting those glory days from 1988, which, if you're like me, doesn't feel like that long ago, but apparently it's more than 3 decades ago. And that's where they've come to today. It wasn't a binding plebiscite last night, but it was, it was binding in the sense that if it wasn't a yes, there was going to be a lot of main partners pulling their support, including the province, who had committed $700 million. Listen to what they had to say today.
Our government made our $700 million support contingent on the support of a majority of Calgarians in a plebiscite. We wanted Calgarians to have a say. We wait for the official results Friday, but based on the unofficial results released last night, I do not believe that the test for community support has been met. Our government respects the decision made by a majority of Calgarians who voted yesterday.
You mentioned that this is the old Olympic facility, and it does look a little bit older today. Part of this deal was going to be some money, a lot of money, to spruce up the Olympic Oval and some of the other venues that were used in the 1988 Olympics. That's not going to be happening. Those billions of dollars are not going to be flowing into this city to spruce up these venues, and the question of what happens to them is well, it's an open question.
So Aaron, where did the yes side go wrong?
I think the strategy with the yes side was to appeal to the heart. And there was a lot of pulling at the heartstrings. You saw a lot of Olympic athletes involved in trying to sell this bid and the idea that it would be good for Calgary to get the Olympics to come back here. Now, the no side stayed right away from the heart. Their focus was on the pocketbook, on the wallet, and that was clearly the argument that resonated more with Calgarians. People weren't convinced that this would stay to a $5 billion budget that was put forward, and they weren't convinced that if it did have cost overruns that they would be able to afford it. This is a city that's come on hard financial times, high unemployment here, lots of vacancy in those downtown office towers, and people here just weren't sure that this was money well spent at this time anyways.
Aaron, thank you. That is the CBC's Aaron Collins at Winsport, the old Canada Olympic Park in Calgary.